There's a new performance on Broadway. Call it the Pedestrian Strut. It's day one of the city's effort to make Manhattan more pedestrian-friendly. And today it looked more like a street fair than a thoroughfare, as street performers greeted New Yorkers and tourists alike. A movie was even shown. It's an experiment that will last for the rest of the year, but not everyone thinks it's the best idea.
We have to go to 8th Avenue, all the traffic spills over, so I think it's going to create absolute havoc.
I got no spot to work anymore.
I think it's a bad idea. I don't know how to get to Penn Station.
And for you drivers, here's the deal. Broadway between 42nd and 47th Streets in Times Square and Broadway from 33rd to 35th in Herald Square will be closed to all motor vehicles. Now, look, in fact, New Yorkers know this is pretty much a walking town. They'd probably get rid of cars everywhere if they could. We're not part of the sprawling car culture here. But did you know there are more than 80 trails in and around the city that make for an ideal jog or a brisk walk, providing you with a view of tree-lined pathways, scenic coastal and river trails, or historic architecture while you enjoy your run. Here to tell us where to find them are Warwick and Nola Ford, authors of Fun on Foot in New York. And here's the book right here. We have a shot of it. I'm assuming that the book came out before you could add this little stretch of Broadway here that's now been closed off. Is that correct?
That's true.
Yeah, okay,
yeah,
all right,
definitely.
Good. Tell us how this came about. You're obviously runners,
Yes.
and when did it dawn on you, like, hey, this ought to be shared with a lot more people? I don't know if people realize what's out here. Talk to me
Well, I think
about
where it started, I was a business traveler for a long time, and I realized that it would be just great if I could have a runner's guide to every city I ever visited. So that kind of started the project.
I see.
But then we realized that a book like this is actually as valuable to local people as well, because everyone likes to have a variety of places to go.
Nola, how familiar were you? I mean, did you grow up in this area or no? You discovered a lot of these as a new person to the area?
We've lived many years in the U.S.
I see. How about the tri-state and the areas focused here?
Yes, we've researched the area over many years and collected trails and hence the book.
Give us some examples. Give us some examples that are, and I hate to use this pun, off the beaten path that people may not realize.
Well, my favorite trail is the two bridges. Run across the Brooklyn Bridge, but not on Memorial Day.
No.
And connect with the Manhattan Bridge, come back on the Manhattan Bridge. You end up in a wonderful restaurant area, and we end up at our favorite Irish pub in Soho. So we need a destination. Always important to have a destination.
I see. All right. And Warwick, tell me, though, we're not just limited to Manhattan, right? You've discovered places in other parts outside the city.
No, we've covered 80 separate routes altogether in the book. We've run them all, researched them all ourselves.
Right.
About half of those are the 5 boroughs.
Okay.
The other half, the surrounding region, so Westchester, Long Island, and some routes further out.
And Nola mentioned her favorite. What about yours? Knowing that you like that one, I know.
Yeah, well, I particularly like the Hudson. Like we're actually we're living on the Upper West Side at the moment.
Right.
We go up the Hudson, past the George Washington Bridge, right up to Dyckman Street, swing in there. You can run up the bluffs there. Beautiful hills work out for you, and then into Fort Tryon Park, and then right through the park. It's just beautiful up there, past the cloisters and the old fort, down to the bottom of that park, and then we just get an A train back home.
And so with each trail, the 80 that you've run, you cover what aspects of it so people know, even security or the nearby restaurants? What can you learn about each trail the way you've structured the book?
We include a lot of details. So we have maps of everything. We have details of where you can find the things that are important to runners or walkers, such as restrooms, water fountains, public transit access, and interesting destinations. As Nola said, it's always nice to have a destination at the end, typically like a food or beverage place.
All right, well, that's great. Fun on Foot in New York, Warwick and Nola Ford. And there you go. There's the graphic right there. You're both on there looking very happy running. And thank you for sharing this with us.
Well, thank you very much.
Very much.
All right. Coming up,